And I remember one day, he had just turned 30, I'm now about 28. And I remember him in the kitchen area with Mother one day. And he says, my time has come. And I could hear Mother's voice quivering a little bit. She says, I knew this day was coming. All I can say is be careful and make sure that you do what the Father wants you to do. The next morning he gets up, he's making a little bit of noise in the kitchen area, and I get out of bed myself and I meet him there in the kitchen, and he's packing a little lunch and a little pouch and wraps it around his waist, and he takes off. And I remember the conversation that he and Mother were having the night before. And he was asking questions about where Crazy John was. Yeah, that crazy cousin of ours. They called him the baptizer. Excuse me? Well, see, we called him Crazy John. He's living out in the wilderness. He's wearing some really strange clothes, and he's eating locusts and honey. Hello? Wouldn't you call your cousin crazy if that's what your cousin did? So after a few minutes, Jesus had left, and I pulled Simon and Joseph over. I said, listen, I got to follow our brother. He's been acting so strangely. I'm going to follow him and make sure that everything's okay. So about 30 minutes after Jesus had gone, I take off. I grab something to eat as I'm heading out the door. And I'm following Jesus. He's far enough away that I can make out his silhouette, but he can't see me. At least I don't think he can see me. Oh, we walk for a ways, and we finally get to the banks of the Jordan River. And there's this huge crowd. And I'm hearing Crazy John out there in the water. Repent! Repent! It's like, what in the world is wrong with him? And then I hear this commotion over here on this other side. And I see these guys. It's the Pharisees. And they're coming and they're yelling at Crazy John. And they're just, these guys are going absolutely nuts. And all of a sudden, I hear John yell back at them, "You're nothing but a brood of vipers!" With that, they looked at him and shook their fists. They were all set to attack, and they decided we're not going to waste our time. And they just turned and they left. And about that time, I see Jesus over on this side over here. And he's walking down the little hillside, right to the bank of the Jordan. And I can hear he and John talking, but I can't really make out exactly what they're saying. So I make my way right to the edge of the crowd so I could hear everything that's going on. And I hear Jesus saying, "But you must. It's the Father's plan." And John's like, "There's no way. I'm not worthy." "But you must. It's the Father's plan. Today is the day that I start my ministry. But I'm not worthy." And finally, Jesus just walks right up to John, turns, crosses his arms, and with that, John puts an arm around Jesus' back, one on his crossed arms, puts him down into the water, pulls him back up. And that is when my life started to change. You see, at that very moment, when Jesus is coming up out of the water, I hear this voice. It's coming from everywhere, but it's coming from nowhere. "This is my Son, in whom I am well pleased." With that, the sky just opened up. This brilliant light shines down on my brother. And this beautiful white dove flies down and lands on his shoulder. I have no idea what's going on. First, First it's the Pharisees, and then Jesus and the water and baptizing and the voice, and I got to get out of here. I turn and I run as fast as I possibly could to get back home. I didn't stop one time along the way. I got home, I ran in the house, I ran back into my room, I closed the door, and I stayed there for the next 2 days.